this is a really good time for me to practice my yoga and just let it go and try again. So here we are, take 2. This class is continuing our journey of emotional health through yoga. Today we're going to be working with the very vulnerable emotions of fear and heartbreak. And I decided to put these 2 together because whenever our hearts get broken, either by a loved one, a friend, discord in the family, the loss of a pet, there's a lot of fear involved in the sadness and the grief and the anger that we feel. Fear about doing something wrong, failing that person, fear about what comes next, are we enough? So this practice is going to be very gentle and slow. We're going to be working with that vulnerability, those really tender emotions that we all share at some point in our lives. So we'll be doing some heart closing off postures to nurture and protect, and then we'll move into some back bending to reinvigorate that space, move into the future with fearlessness, with exhilaration, excitement. And if that doesn't happen for you, don't worry about it. This practice is all about meeting yourself where you are, being really present with the emotions that are here, and being kind. So we'll need just 1 block for class today, and then I will meet you on your mat. So we're going to start off class today in a heart opening posture called Anahatasana, heart posture. Anahata is the name of our heart chakra. And we come into this posture from a tabletop position, keeping hips over knees, and then we'll just walk the hands forward, bringing the chest down. And you can bring your forehead down, or you can bring your chin down depending on the comfort, flexibility. And then let your spine move into extension like cow pose. Let the space between your shoulders sag and relax. And let's just take some deep breaths here. You might imagine each breath sending some compassion and gratitude to your heart, the heart itself. That does so much for us. It's beating even when we're asleep. Letting yourself settle down onto the mat. And as you do that, arriving into this moment. There's nothing that you need to worry about right now. Just be on your mat. Be in your body. And we'll come out of the posture nice and slowly, pressing into the palms to lift the elbows, and then walking the hands in so that we can sit the hips back, child's pose. Take the big toes together, knees wide, and then it might feel nice to sweep the arms by your sides, letting the forehead come down. You might wiggle the hips side to side, or you might roll the forehead from side to side on the mat. Giving yourself permission to relax. Often when we feel sad, we feel like that's all there is. We say, I'm heartbroken, I am depressed. And that might be part of your experience, but it doesn't need to be all of your experience. We can also find relaxation. We can also find contentment even when there's sadness. Let's try to tap into some of that here. We'll slowly walk the hands forward, and we'll move into downward facing dog when you're ready. And this down dog does not have to look the way that mine does. It doesn't have to look the way that you feel like it should. I just want your heart below your hips which is the definition of an inversion. Allowing the blood to flow back to the heart with a little more ease. And you can bend the knees from here if you like, or pedal out the legs. And then let the sides of your neck be long and let the head be heavy. We always start with calm and kindness. When you're about to do something that's scary, if you go into it tense and anticipating the fear, it's going to make the fear more pronounced. This is well known. Our resistance to the fear makes the fear even worse. So establishing ourselves in a state of calm and contentment, the security. We'll step the feet together here, and then on your inhale, we'll take the right leg high. Actually, we're going to move with the left side dominant today because the left side is more feminine. Not to say that men can't have heartbreak, but the feminine side of all of us is associated with softness, compassion, sensuality. And that's what we really need to nurture and tap into today. So left leg goes high, inhale, and then we'll stack the left hip on top of the right, bending the left knee, and maybe looking over or underneath the right armpit or underneath the left armpit. And then back to three-legged dog and then down dog. And we'll do the other side, right leg lifts. And then stacking the hips, bending that top knee. You can roll the ankle, point and flex the foot. Big breaths. Back to three-legged dog, and then we're going to walk the feet forward to the hands. Keeping the knees bent a lot, we'll step the feet hip-width distance at the top of the mat. And then bend the knees a lot and let your head hang. You can sway side to side, interlacing opposite hands, maybe grabbing opposite elbows here. Let the torso connect with your thighs. And let the head hang down. No tension left in the shoulders or neck. Release your hands. Keep your knees bent. We're going to roll up to stand slower than you want to go. Allowing the head to be the last thing to rise. And then when we get there, let's roll the shoulders a few times. We'll find a side bend. This is a Bikram half moon. We'll lift the arms up to the sky and then grab the left hand with the right wrist. Press the left arm up to the sky and then take it over to the right. Keeping the core engaged, keeping the gaze forward. Then back to center, arms reach high, belly in, ribs down, and switch. Left hand grabs right hand, and then pressing the right arm up, right palm up, and pulling the right arm over. Arms reach up, inhale, and then exhale, cactus the arms down. Imagine shoulder blades moving into opposite back pockets, and the shoulder blades propping up the back of your heart. Quads are active, feet are active. Arms reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, long through the waist, and then we'll exhale into Utkatasana chair. So chair is actually a back bend, especially for your thoracic spine. We'll pull the belly in, ribs down, and then let the collarbones separate. Pulling the thumbs back behind you. Let's take a twist here, sweeping the left arm back. I'm used to doing the right. Left arm back, looking at your left thumb. Right arm straight out ahead of you. And then back to our Utkatasana and twisting the other way. Let's find a bit of a flow here. One more each side. Inhale. exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands down, lift your hips and fold. Toe heel your feet wide into Malasana, a yogi squat. We're going to find a arm balance here to start off class, which can be really anxiety provoking for people, especially who are new to arm balancing. So I want you to stay within, not necessarily within your comfort zone, but I want you to find that emotional boundary where you feel like it's too much, I can't do this, and pushing yourself a little bit beyond complacency. So for arm balancing, know that your hands are your brakes. So if your hands are not active, you probably will fall forward on your face, which is what we're all frightened of in this posture. So place your hands down, spread your fingers wide, and then begin to lift your hips. And as you do that, pouring the weight forward into the hands, feel your fingertips begin to grip the mat. Now, if you're brand new to this, you can always take a block underneath your face. It'll just bring the ground a little closer. You can also bring a block under your feet, which is going to help you get into the crane or crow shape for the first time. Or you don't need to use those. I want to challenge you, wherever you are in this series of postures, to go into the posture a little bit past your normal comfort zone and a little bit past that point where you're like, I got this. And it feels like maybe you could fall forward if you weren't paying attention. Now, obviously doing this at your own risk. So if you're in crow, can you take your knees a little bit wider up towards the or the shoulders? If you're moving to crane, can you straighten the elbows a little bit more? Knees are in the armpits for crane instead of outside for crow. Shifting the weight forward, forward, forward. Lower your chest. And then bring the toes in towards your butt. Lower your chest. Separate your shoulder blades. Looking forward, belly in. One breath here. You can do it. And then feet come down. Step back. Feet to the back of the mat. Lower your knees. Lower your chest and your chin. High cobra. Let your hips set down. Untuck the toes. And then pull your heart through your shoulders, pressing down into the tops of the feet. Quads are slightly active. Tailbone is long. Navel point draws in and up, and then gazes either forward or you can lift the chin and look up. Draw the belly in firmly. We'll lift the hips moving through Balasana, child's pose. One breath here. Downward facing dog, please. Let's step the feet together. Again, we'll lift the left leg on an inhale. Exhale, stacking the hips, bending the top knee, and then an option to flip your dog over into Wild Thing or Kamatkarasana. We'll work on spinning the heart open towards the sky, lifting up through the hips, opening through the front of the heart, maybe opening through front of the throat, our center of honest communication, and the connection between our heart and our head. Looking down at the floor, left hand down, left leg lifts, inhale, and then exhale, bring the left knee into the chest, shoulders over the wrists, make the space by pushing into your hands, and then step your left foot through. Widen your stance, rise, crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, let's just stay here for a few breaths. Belly in, we'll firm up the back glute, firm up the back quad, and then press the back heel down. Good, inhale, straighten both legs. Think about scissoring the legs in towards one another. And then exhale, rebend. Again, inhale, straighten. Navel point draws up, energy draws up through crown of the head. Exhale, lower. Keep the energy drawing up. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Keep the legs. We'll inhale, rise up with the arms, and then exhale, we'll take it back into a back bend. So pulling the biceps behind your ears, keep the belly in, keep your tailbone long, keep the inner thighs active. We're scissoring the inner thighs together, hugging the outer thighs so the legs are super active here. Arms pull back, we'll press the back of the heart up, so finding extension in the thoracic spine again, and then maybe lifting the gaze. Firm legs, firm belly. Breathing here. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands down. We'll step the left foot back to meet the right. Vinyasa, or you can take knees, chest, chin to cobra, like we did before. Other side, stepping the feet together, right leg lifts, three-legged dog, and then stacking the hips, bending that top knee, spotting your landing, and maybe going for it today, your wild thing. Spin your heart open, lift your shoulder blades. Strong through the right leg. Spot your landing. We'll come back, three-legged dog on the inhale. Exhale, knee to chest. And then step the left foot through, or right foot through, sorry. Crescent lunge will rise for a few breaths here. You guys are doing so good. Firm up your back leg a lot. Pressing the back heel down. Relax through the neck, relax through the face. And we'll inhale, straighten the legs, scissor the thighs. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Inhale, scissoring the legs, hugging the hips in. And exhale, lowering. Inhale, drawing the energy up. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, keep the legs bent, or front leg bent. We'll lift the arms. Find that activation, legs active. Inner thighs are active, outer thighs active, tailbones long. Belly button draws in, low belly in, ribs down. And then pull the biceps back and press the back of the heart up. And you'll have to release the upper ribs a little here, but keep the belly button engaged. Maybe lifting the gaze. Keep your legs active. The legs are a really important part of back bending safely. Arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step the right foot back. Take a vinyasa or skip it. We'll look towards the hands, stepping the feet through and sitting down, coming onto our backs. So we'll begin in bridge. This is not unlike a regular class where you go through bridge and then wheel a few times. We're just going to be a little bit more mindful about how we get into these back bends. And if you want more tips about safe back bending, I do have a short about it, so feel free to check that out. So we'll roll the shoulders under to start. And you want the fingertips to, they don't have to graze the heels, but you can kind of feel that they're right around there. And the first thing we want to do is the feet. So we always build the posture from the feet up. Pressing down into the heels is going to turn on the back of the legs so you can feel the hamstrings engage. And we want to think about hugging the inner thighs, almost like spinning them downward. And if this is hard for you to grasp, you can take your block in between your knees and squeeze. And that's when you feel like, okay, that's what it feels like for adductors to engage. So they're your squeezing muscles, and you can turn them on by engaging the instep of the foot and thinking about internally rotating your thigh bones. So feel free to use the block if you need. Hamstrings active, adductors active. Then we'll pull the navel point in and up, ribs down, so that navel is engaged. Begin to lift the hips. And now if you're squeezing your glutes together and contracting around your tailbone, this is probably going to put too much pressure on the low back. We do want to firm the outer thighs, so you can give them a press here. Feel that they're working. But we want the tailbone to be a little mobile, because we're going for that extension in our low back. And if we squeeze the glutes, it takes it more into flexion. So to recap, pressing into the heels, hamstring engaged, adductors engaged, spinning the thighs down. Firm your outer thighs, navel point in and up. And then lifting the hips, rolling onto the shoulders. Spreading the toes, feeling for them spreading forward and wide along the mat in front of you. So really engaging through the foot, the legs, the core. And then lowering back down, keeping everything active until you are all the way back down on the mat. Good. And then release, relax. So option to do that again in bridge, or we can move into wheel. So for wheel, we're adding in the arms, obviously. That means that the arm strength is going to help you get into this back bend. So the more that you push into the ground, lift your shoulder blades, and extend your chest through, the more you're going to get the benefits of that whole spinal extension, which is wheel. So I'll take the hands. A lot of people say by the ears. That's really more advanced. If you're new to wheel, take the hands further away from your head, further towards the top of the mat. And then again, we're going to find our legs first. So pressing into heels, spreading the toes wide and forward, feeling the back of the legs activate, inner thighs turn on, outer thighs turn on. Belly draws in and up, tailbone relaxed, and then we'll press into the hands to come onto the top of the head. Good. Now find everything in the low body again if you lost it. And then we'll begin to press into the hands, hug your arm bones in towards midline, and lift the head off of the mat. Maybe you can straighten the legs a little bit more, straightening the elbows. Lift your shoulder blades a lot. Feel for some space on either side of the neck. Keep the belly pulling in. And then maybe from here, if this feels comfortable for you, you can walk the feet in. Keep spinning the thigh bones down towards the floor. And then coming back onto the head, keeping the navel in. We can lift the heels and then lowering everything back down. Just take a moment here to rest on your back and feel the energy that you've created. Back bending is always so exhilarating for me, and sometimes it can cause lightheadedness just because there's so much energy that you've unlocked that's starting to flow through these channels that were closed. So good, everybody. So we're going to end class today with a supported inversion. You don't have to use the block if you don't want. We're going to do supported shoulder stand. So drawing the knees into the chest to start, Apanasana. And then if you want to take regular shoulder stand, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll use our block underneath our sacrum. So it's not in our lumbar spine. It's not in that C curve of our low back. It's below it, and it's kind of wedging your hips up. And then you can even keep your knees bent for this. This is still an inversion. Or you can extend the legs. Take the hands down by your sides and just experience the sensation of blood flow being reversed. Some of us, as we age, develop varicose veins. It's those dilated veins in our legs. And that's because our circulation begins to, get a little bit more sluggish. So inversions are a really good way to prevent varicose veins, but it's also just a great way to prevent toxins from building up in the body, to keep the blood oxygenated, to keep the body oxygenated. The old yogis would say that inversions are youth promoting. Just one more breath here. And then wherever you are, we'll bend the knees and we'll slowly roll out, taking the feet down. And then we'll all take a little counter stretch here. We'll do a modified fish, Matsyendrasana. So setting up in bridge position, we'll take hands by the sides, pressing into the elbows and forearms to lift the head off of the mat. And then you can walk the elbows back a little. We're just going to prop up the back of the heart and then lift the chin and lower the head back. Coming all the way down. Moving into a Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out to either side, and then taking a hand onto the heart and a hand onto the belly. In this gesture of self-compassion, self-love. A gesture of saying thank you to all that the body does for us. When you're ready, let's make our way onto our left side. Pressing up into a seat. And we'll close our practice today with a bit of pranayama. So I'll coach you through this and we'll just run through a few rounds. So we're going to take our pointer finger and our middle finger down. And then we'll hug the nostrils we'll hug the left nostril with the ring finger and pinky. And we'll hug the right nostril with your thumb. Now, obviously, if you close them both, you can't breathe. So we're just going to hover them around your nostrils. And we're going to quickly alternate opening and closing the nostrils. Left hand can rest in your lap, bringing the pointer finger and thumb together in a symbolic gesture of unifying individual and universal consciousness. And so we're going to inhale quickly and sharply through the left nostril and then plug the left. Exhale sharply through the right. And then plug the right, inhale left, plug the left, exhale right. Plug the right, inhale left, plug the left, exhale right. So it's going to look like this. We'll start with taking a breath in together. I'm going to walk you through this in a bit. And then inhale sharply left. Okay? So get your hands in position. Okay, a nice erect but relaxed posture. Relax your eyebrows, and then we'll take a breath in together. Exhale. Plug the right nostril. Short breath in through the right or through the left nostril. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale the other side. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Keep going. Faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale both nostrils. Hold. Exhale. All right, yogis. Thanks so much for showing up with me today. I'm really glad that you were here with me. I hope that this was helpful. If anything came up for you during practice, feel free to leave me a comment. I would love to know what happened for you, how this sat. I'll see you next time.